for joining me. My name is Jeanette McLeod, and I'm a Platinum Leader with Young Living. I've been doing the wealth building portion of Young Living for about 4 years, and it has been quite successful for us. And me and my husband both have stayed home from our traditional jobs, which was teaching in oil field, to be able to do this full time. Tonight, I really wanted to talk about the power of Essential Rewards. And Essential Rewards, of course, is our loyalty program with Young Living, and it is absolutely the backbone to our business. And I think that when you first start, promoting the oils, it's very difficult to necessarily sell people on the Essential Rewards part, because we're so conditioned, we don't want to be a salesperson. We don't feel like we want to make them spend a whole bunch of money. So it takes us a long time to get comfortable with it. And what I want to tell you tonight is that you do not have a business if you do not have members on Essential Rewards. Cut and dry. The beauty of this business is residual income. And your residual income is going to come from having people on Essential Rewards. The best way you are going to have people on Essential Rewards is by telling them about it right away and speaking authentically about its importance. When I started changing my language just to, say that this is just something that you need to be on, this really is the best way to save money. When I believed the words I was saying, it became very, very different. Instead of being scared or worried about what they would think, I just reasoned in my mind, no, Essential Rewards really is the most cost-effective way. So I wanted to give you a few ideas. When you're talking about Essential Rewards to people, you're going to obviously go with whatever's in your comfort zone, and you're going to have to find your own language. But one thing that I really found was helpful was when I'm talking about the kit at a beginner's class, I often tell people, I just talk to them as though they're going to go on it. So when you're on Essential Rewards, you're going to experience getting money back in free product. When you go on Essential Rewards, you'll get to earn a diffuser for free after 3 consecutive months. I just talk to them like it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you go on it kind of thing? So I just talk about it in the positive and lay out all the benefits for them. And I tell them most people choose to go on Essential Rewards because it's really the best option. The other thing that I've used from time to time that seems to have worked well is when I tell them, I would hate for you to go and buy a starter kit and get it home and kind of dabble, and that's kind of it. Young Living is more of a lifestyle, and we're committed to having our homes free from toxins. So I would really encourage you to at least give this 3 months. When I've put this idea in their head that it's not just going to be a one-time purchase, when I put the idea in their head that I would really like to see you just try it for 3 months, 3 months is going to give you an opportunity to see what you like, what you don't like, what you want to replace, and how you're feeling, actually feeling. If you're going to drink Ningxia Red for 3 months, that's about how much time I would say to give it. So when you start reasoning like that with people that, well, just like anything, you should probably give it 3 months. This isn't the kind of thing you just put on your skin, oh, it didn't work, okay, I'll go for my Tylenol. This is the lifestyle change. People are a lot more receptive to being like, oh yeah, I guess that's okay. The other thing people really love is to have an out. So if you are just very vocal with them and say, we can go ahead and sign you up, and if you really, truly do not have anything that you would see yourself purchasing by the 25th of next month, then we can just go ahead and cancel it, and it's no worse for wear. Now, when I do that, I honestly can't think of any time in the recent future that I've had somebody come off of it, but be known that if you do sign somebody up on Essential Rewards with that claim saying, okay, well, if you don't want anything, then we can just cancel and it doesn't really matter. They will lose out on their diffuser promo if they decide to go on it later, because the diffuser promo is meant for the minute you sign up on Essential Rewards and you're 3 consecutive. That said, I've never had a problem with that. So most people, they do. If you follow up and you talk to them about it, then you're actually going to harbor that. Now, as far as Essential Rewards goes too, oftentimes people will just say no to it because they haven't seen the value in it. So we can keep telling them, but you get 10% back and then 20% back and you get all this free stuff. They still might not see the value in it, and that's okay. Not everybody's going to go on Essential Rewards right away. Actually, a lot of leaders in the United States do not even bring up Essential Rewards in the beginning. They let it be a self-discovery, because some of them have felt that if it's a self-discovery thing, then their retention rate is so much higher because it's something that they weren't pushed into. So it's just definitely giving them that exposure. That said, you are going to have to follow up and you are going to have to expose them to Essential Rewards. You can't just kind of like, okay, well, there's their kit, and you never talk to them again, or you never bring it up. You really do have to make it a conscious effort to re-expose them. So in the book, I don't think I have it with me, GoPro, he talks about exposures. I do have a graphic about how many exposures it takes. In his book, GoPro, he talks about anywhere between 4 and 6 exposures for it to happen. So it could be 4 to 6 exposures for somebody to buy a kit, 4 to 6 exposures for them to go on Essential Rewards. So knowing that, you're going to have to do that legwork. So that brings me into the other topic that I wanted to talk about, which is the follow-up. So we have Essential Rewards, which is the backbone of our business, and we have following up, which is the fortune to our business. So we've got the backbone and the fortune, which is in the follow-up. So it comes down to changing your mindset, right? Like I talked about with Essential Rewards. As soon as you start believing what you're saying, as soon as you start believing that the kit is only $199, that Essential Rewards really is the best way to spend money, that you really are going to want to be on this for at least 3 months to give it a good old college try, then that's what you start speaking truth into that. You start believing what you're saying. It took me a few times of saying it before I was like, yeah, actually this is true. And I can let it go and speak authentically and speak genuinely to them. So the same goes for when you're following up. When you follow up, what are your intentions? People get nervous and they get scared and they don't want to do the follow-up because they're worried. And you know what, I just think, check your intention. Is your intention to find out how they're doing, or is your intention to sell them something? If it's to sell them something, don't call, because that's not A, why you're in this business, and it's B, not what they want. People don't care how much you know, they want to know how much you care. So it all comes down to you just putting your fear aside, phoning them, and making conversation like a normal human being. I said this at the Passion Rally on the weekend. Don't be weird. Just be a normal person. Call them. Hey, how are you? How's your kid? I often do this. If I'm Facebook friends with them, I'll go seek them out to see what their last couple of posts were, so I have something to go off of. Hey, I saw this on Facebook. Looked like you guys had a really good time. And just totally like talk normal, like I care about them, because I do care about them. And I want to know how they're doing. And then that's when I can launch into questions. And it only has to be a few simple questions, but really great questions to have on hand are questions that aren't yes or no answers. You know, when we send them something like, for example, if somebody is interested in the business and we give them the 4-year career to read, we're not going to ask them, how did you like that? We're going to ask them, what was your favorite part? So the same goes for a starter kit. When we call them and ask them, you know, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing really good. What's your favorite oil? Oh, it's lavender. How have you been using it? Now it opens up a bunch of conversation. Or you can ask them, what were your main concerns when you signed up with Young Living and got a kit? Oh, well, I have arthritis, or I get headaches from time to time. Then you can talk to them about the different ways they can use them or which oils they can use. And we have some really great questions. I can post them on Momentum, where I always have just a list of questions in front of me, because I have gone through too many care calls where it was like, hi, this is Jeanette with Young Living. How are you? Good, how are you? Just calling to check in. Do you have any questions? No, I'm good. Okay, bye. And that's kind of it. And it's like, nope, doesn't have to be that way. You can just totally ask, like, my ears have gotten so trained now that the second I hear something squawk in the background, oh, do you have kids? Oh, do you have pets? You know, it's just like, oh yeah, that's good. How old are they? Try and find something that you guys can connect on and relate to. And then also in our virtual office, when you're calling people, if you're calling people you don't know, which will happen in your organization as it grows, you're going to have people sign up people. And the people that signed up people aren't growing a business. They're not interested in the wealth opportunity. You have to treat those people like they belong to you. Plain and simple. You can recruit through those people, and you have to treat them like they're your own. And so you just call them and you say, and often I steer away from the words, I'm your Young Living support, or I usually say I'm your support team, but I never use the word upline. Not upline, downline, nothing, because that's what freaks them out about MLM if you use MLM language. So usually I just say, hey, this is Jeanette from Young Living. They don't know if I'm corporate or who I am. They're just like, oh, okay, hi, you're from Young Living. Or if you say I'm your support team, then it just leaves a whole different connotation. And if you just outright say, hey, I'm just calling to see how you're doing, see if you had any questions, and have a few pointed questions in front of you, you will be surefire for success. So definitely talk to people about essential rewards like you're just expecting that they would, because everybody wants to save money. And then also your fortune being in the follow-up. So actually following up with them. If you look on your downline and you see a name that you don't recognize, or somebody under somebody who you know isn't really interested, pick up the phone, call them. Just, you wanted to reach out. If you are authentically caring about them, and there's nothing to be afraid of. If you're just authentically saying, I didn't want you to spend $200 and not have a clue what you were doing. Let me give you my cell phone. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to help you use the products you already have. That's also a big one. I'm not here to tell you about this skincare promo or whatever. I'm just here to help you feel better with the oils that you have. Their guard comes down so fast, because that's all you want to do is build some kind of relationship with them and truly help them. So that's kind of where I'm at with tonight. Just check your intention, and that will help you get over your fear. If you start believing that essential rewards is really the best way to be, you will carry yourself as such, and people will see that, and they will begin to trust you that way. And if you have the intentions of just trying to help people out, your care calls will go very easy and go very well. So that's kind of my spiel for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.